Are we sure that Florida State and Wisconsin are making the right decisions by giving their head coaches, Mike Norvell and Luke Fickell, respectively, a vote of confidence after not one, but 2 seasons that have frankly just not met the standard that has been set by those lofty programs? What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Did you think that Florida State and Wisconsin had made the right decision to give their coaches a vote of confidence? Or do you think that's the buyout money talking out loud and a buyout actually doing what it's supposed to do? Now, Florida State and Wisconsin have not enjoyed the kind of success that they had grown accustomed to basically prior to Luke Fickell getting to Wisconsin, well, and even what you did when you got rid of Paul Chryst, and what Mike Norvell had done when they went 13-1 in 2023. The last 2 years have just been hard for both of those programs and both of those fan bases. Wisconsin is in a really difficult spot, right? Number one, Luke Fickell's team has just not been good since he got there. The identity of the program has been running the football and playing defense. And while he's a defensive coordinator, defensive mind, and was nose tackle at Ohio State, they haven't been great at stopping people from scoring. They certainly hadn't been great at getting people to score. Now, you could make the excuse, and it would be a valid one, that Luke Fickell has not really had his starting quarterback for 3 years. However, your evaluations also lead to you have more than one quarterback on the team at a time. They lost Tanner Mordecai due to injury. They lost Tyler Van Dyke due to injury. They've lost Billy Edwards due to injury. The guys that they've had to come behind them make Wisconsin look a lot like Nebraska when Matt Rule first got there and toward the end of the Scott Frost era. It's just not fun to be a Badgers fan right now. And if you are a Badgers fan, I understand. The reason I bring up Nebraska, the same reason I would bring up Arkansas. It's a one-school state, which means that mostly everybody pulls in the same direction and everybody feels it. It also is an advantage when it comes to playing college football, even in this era, because all the support mostly gets pulled into one place, which is why the expectations are so high and why they've been so good for so long. But now we're talking about a Wisconsin team that got shut out in back-to-back games for the first time since 1980. That's been quite a while. And, Barry Alvarez did a lot to make this program into the kind that, frankly, I got used to seeing be great from the early 1990s onward to the Ron Dane era. And the bevy of running backs that they would have come through there from Melvin Gordon to Monty Ball, James White. Like, you can keep going down the list. You ran the football. You played defense. You were Wisconsin. The thing that we expected Wisconsin to do when the college football playoff format was first formed was make it. Like, we thought that this was going to be a team that could do that. Then they get beat 59-0 by Ohio State in a Big Ten championship game, and they really haven't been able to do much. As a matter of fact, Penn State's been taking up all the oxygen in the space because we've expected for some time that they are going to be good. But I also think that as we're talking about this, we should be looking at what it means for Florida State to be as bad as they have been. It's approaching nearly 400 days since Florida State last won an ACC game. And given that time and given what Mike Norvell has been given, he's been able to overhaul the staff. You can understand Seminoles fans feel like they got the wrong end of the stick, especially after the start they had. Start out 3-0, right? You beat Alabama, who might actually be the best team in the SEC. Given what we've seen since then. And it's gone off the rails in a bad way. And this loss to Stanford is really more of the same because going into that game, it's like 395 days since they last won an ACC game. By the way, SMU has yet to lose an ACC regular season game. And you look at the buyout total for Mike Norvell, it's $54 million he'd be owed if he was fired today. Their next game is not going to be that much fun. They get a bye, and then they get November 1, Wake Forest. But you ought also pay out basically $72 million to his staff, or a big number, and a number that I think is doing what a buyout is supposed to do. And for that matter, Luke Fickell, also $25 million that he would be owed if he was fired. I think that as we talk about these things, the buyout is doing what it's supposed to do. A buyout is not actually supposed to be a lever you use. Like, this is why, when you look at, say, James Franklin's $49 million or even Jimbo Fisher's $76 million, you never expect anybody to pay that. Like when Gus Malzahn got bought out at Auburn for something like $21 million. Again, you don't expect people to want to pull that lever because it hurts. Like, you got to pay a lot of that up front and in monthly installments. And then you got to go hire the next guy and you got to pay him millions of dollars and pay his staff what it comes to millions of dollars. But now you're in a revenue sharing era and a name, image, and likeness era and a transfer portal era. So you have three things working against you. One, your players are getting paid by other people and probably through your collective. Two, they're getting a piece of the television rights money that used to only come to you. And three, if you fire a coach, all of the players have 30 days, a whole month to enter the portal or not and freely transfer wherever they want. So if you take action after the season ends, you risk losing your entire team to the transfer portal, or more importantly, your better players. And Florida State was one of the programs that benefited from Nick Saban doing just that. Roydell Williams, among others, going to Florida State. And we saw Caleb Downs, Julian Sand go to Ohio State, help them create a team that wins a national championship. Looks like they're going to repeat. You don't want to be the food that other teams get to eat off of because you made a decision to fire a coach after a season ended, which is another reason why you fired Billy Napier. I don't think that this is fun, but it's the reality of the business because players are less likely to enter the portal in the middle of the season. And they're less likely to have some place to go, more importantly, in the middle of the season because everybody else is still playing their games. And anywhere you want to go is probably winning or doesn't really have a spot for you because they're pretty full up. They don't know what they're going to have until the season ends. So then you have to enter the portal like everybody else. That's what you do when you got employees that work for you. It's not necessarily they're going to work under the best circumstances. They're going to work, period. When you are going through it like this and you got to have an interim, that's part of it. It's just keeping everybody in check, both with the money whip, I should say, and with morale. I understand that fans are not going to like this. I wouldn't like this either, it being the reality of the business. But until we get a better fix, this is just what's going to be. Meanwhile, I would much rather have a guy like Luke Fickell or Mike Norvell have to be forced to dig themselves out. This is what I said about Brent Venables and people trying to move him on. No. This is his hole. Let him dig himself out. Let's not give him an easy out and pay him to go away. I think that's, quite frankly, ridiculous, preposterous. I'm not paying, $50 million to not work.